Greetings, Wellness Inspiration Blog community. This is your Wellness Inspiration Coach, Tyra, here to share a word of inspiration with you on your path to greater health, well being, and fitness. Today is August 2nd, 2018, and I just wanted to share to a certain degree a vlog, but an inspirational word with you on your path to just, I just wanted to share some good thoughts with you, something to think about. I was thinking the other day that the difference between people who achieve the goals that they want in life, when it comes to anything, but especially when it comes to weight loss and higher levels of health and well-being, is that the people who succeed were willing to do what the others were not willing to do. It really does boil down to that. I'm in get serious phase with myself. So that's something that I really want you to think about is, are you willing to do everything that is needed to get to where you want to go? I know in my own life, there's so many times I know exactly what I know I need to do when it comes to my health, and I don't do it. And then I say, oh, why won't I lose weight? What's wrong? I'm not willing to do everything I need to do in order to lose weight. So that's the willingness piece on this. People think eat this way, exercise that way. I was telling my goddaughter the other day, if that's all we're focused on, especially of those of us who have chronic weight ups and downs, weight issues or whatever, that's not going to work. Because when times get tough, when we get stressed, if we get thrown off our routines, we will revert back to our old habits if we don't have another perspective to think about. And so, having this willingness to do what I know I need to do in order to get to where I want to go, that piece right there is essential. Because then it causes us to question everything we do. Okay, if I eat this, is this going to take me where I want to go? Am I willing to exercise in the way I know that is best for my body in order to get to where I want to go? Sitting here on this couch or, making the choice to do something outside of exercise, is that going to get me where I want to go? It really starts to make us begin to ask these questions of ourselves when we are going through our day. And that's why I put tracking on there. People hate food journals. They hate food journals. The other thing that people hate is weighing. I can honestly say that I fall in both categories. I hate tracking my food. It's just too much time, and I don't feel like tracking my food. I get tired of tracking my food. It's too much work to track my food. Okay, well, not tracking my food, guess what? I've gained 30 pounds. Not lately, but, I'm trying to make my comeback from having gained 30 pounds. I'm down about 13 pounds. So, I'm trying to get the rest of it off. How did not tracking work for me? Once I became more willing to track what I ate, guess what? I started losing weight, right? Every time I don't track my food, I notice my weight goes up. That's one little bit of tracking that I know for a fact. When I don't track my food, I have a friend struggled with her weight for years. Maybe in the last 2 years, this chick is totally slender. It's like we traded places, even though most people would not say I'm majorly overweight, but I mean, come on. I look different. Everybody knows it. And she said, oh yeah, I worked with a dietitian and I track everything I put in my mouth. I'm like, dang, one of those situations, one of those success stories. I'm looking for the success story where you didn't have to track your food. Like, yeah, I really want to know that particular one. I read as a health coach, most people are not going to lose weight and keep it off if they do not track what they eat. So I guess my point is the people who are succeeding at losing weight are tracking what they eat versus those who are not. Perhaps they won't track what they eat. The ones who are losing weight are willing to do something that those who are not losing the weight aren't willing to do. I've been in this category for a long time. I still struggle with this category. Okay. The daily weighing. I resisted that until, let's say, my birthday was in March, is when I got to be mindset. I think I started around then. But I think I mentioned this to you all before. Prior to that, I watched my husband lose like 20, 25 pounds. And one of the things he did every day that he hadn't been doing, weighing himself every day. Every day. I used to think, why is he torturing himself like that? Guess who lost 20, 25 pounds in a short time? My husband. You know why? He tracks his food and he weighs himself. When my husband would not track his food, because I had started getting into food tracking a little bit, and this was before he got serious about losing the weight. I thought to myself, he needs to track his food. I told him, you need to track your food. He was like, leave me alone. I'm not doing all that. Then he gained the weight. Next thing I know, he's tracking everything he's eating and he's weighing daily. And he lost 20, 25 pounds easily, just like that. So, you know, people just need to get the scale straight. You need to get your mind, if you struggle with the scale, and I know people have had eating disorders and different things like that. But even still, to get past your eating disorder, you had to reframe, reshape, and realize that, like, whatever you were thinking about yourself wasn't true. It was a distortion. And that's the problem with the scale. We're all distorted about the scale. And so what we have to do is reframe how we look at the scale. And so that we are willing to do what we need to do in order to lose that weight. And so for me, getting on that scale every day, I am thinking to myself, what did I do yesterday? Well, because I'm tracking my food more, I struggle still. I think, oh, okay, I did do this or that. I began to notice, even if it was a small cup of soup, if I ate the soup, because I like getting soup from Sprouts or Publix, I was going to gain weight. I'm at that phase where I can gain weight like that. I don't lose it that way, though. But I can gain weight like that. And I was like, I'm not going to eat any more soup at the end of the day. And I started noticing my weight started changing. And I definitely wasn't gaining the weight like that. Okay. So it showed me no carbs at the end of the day. Zero. And just every time I gain weight, like this week, I haven't been working out like I typically, well, how I planned on working out. And the scale is showing it. It's creeping up a few ounces at a time because I'm not working out according to plan. And so that scale helps me to see what I'm doing to influence it. That scale is not just flashing some magical number. It's not just grabbing a number out the sky. The number means more than anything what you are doing day to day. There is no judgment of you as an individual, of your body, nothing. Because how many of us have seen people who weigh a lot more than they actually look? I'm one of those people. People don't typically think I weigh what I weigh, but that number doesn't reflect anything. It does not reflect my personality. It could be somebody who's freaking 400 pounds getting on that scale. That number on that scale does not speak to that person's character. It doesn't speak to that person's love for the people they're around. The number on the scale is really just an indication of what did I do prior to getting on this scale. So that's just my way of showing you how we have to reframe this thing. So what? The number more than we want it to be. I mean, like, why don't we get out when we're eating food that we know? I know we want to enjoy this food, but why don't we get that mad at ourselves, that upset, that emotional, that we're eating food that we know is going to put weight on us? Why don't we get that upset? Why don't we get that upset with ourselves when we don't go work out? We don't go work out. We eat food that we know is going to put weight on us. We allow ourselves to be stressed and pressed and not living a good, healthy lifestyle. And then we go get on the scale and we. So I say all of this with love because I'm the one that does it. I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. No, I may not have been 100 pounds overweight, but I can tell you what, I got the mindset of an overweight person. I know what it's like to be overweight. I know what it's like to be frustrated. I know what it's like to be an emotional eater. I know what it's like to have a distorted body image, being 157, thinking I'm 300 pounds. I know a lot. And so I can say to you, I'm going to say to you what my mama used to say to me. I would be wrong if I didn't tell you this. I can say to you what people who haven't had these kind of issues can't say to you. But at the end of the day, we have to make different choices. We have to reframe how we see everything. The very things that are good for us, we reject. Instead, we want the things for us that aren't good for us. If you have a weight problem, all the stuff you love, you're going to choose that over all the stuff that is going to help you get your body back into a state of equilibrium. It's not just about getting slimmer. It's about get your body in a state of equilibrium. Get your body in a place where you feel good in your body. Because all this other stuff over here that is really the main reason that we have our weight issues, this is what it's giving you. It's giving you a weight issue. It's giving you frustration, which leads to more stress. Your stressful lifestyle is not profiting you. And so why are we staying true to the thing that hurts us versus the thing that is for us? And it's because to a certain degree, we have been mind tricked and tripped into doing the exact opposite thing of what we need to do. And so we have to mind trip ourselves back and go in the right direction. So the people who are getting success, don't lie to yourself about this. They're not lucky. There are some people that have really good genes, but even they will struggle with the little pooches and stuff. I know people, they still have their issues. All right. But the majority of people who are slim and trim and healthy, they have done what those of us who aren't there yet aren't willing to do. It really boils down to that. More than knowing what to eat, more than knowing like the perfect exercise, and to a certain degree actually doing that, more than that, they are willing to do what we haven't been willing to do. So it's more about you've got to develop the willingness to do what it takes to get you to where you need to go. And when you learn that in this area of your life, you'll be able to project it into other areas of your life. Excuse me. If you have been able to do that in other areas of your life, you need to bring that into this area of your life. But we can't sit around and pretend that we are not actually just, we can't act like it's just bad luck. I don't have the willpower and everything. We have to get deeper. If you don't have the willpower, because I know, I think I'm talking to like the general population. I know that they're extremes. They're those who've been molested as children. Again, I've seen so many people lose the weight and they just gain it right back. You know why? Because they are torn up on the inside with some kind of pain, you know? And so it still boils down to being, it boils down to the fact that it's not just about eating and exercise. It boils down to there's other things that we have to address in order to get to where we need to go. But I do understand, and I honor those who have weight issues due to perhaps being molested in some kind of way, abused. Some people are on medication. I just say to you, no matter the abuse, or you might have an illness of some sort that prevents you from exercising. I know when I had the adrenal fatigue really badly, it being sick almost makes you like have zero willingness to. You just don't have the energy to get it done. Depression will make you that way. And at that point, it's about addressing the underlying cause more than addressing the weight issue. It's more about what do you need to do to take care of yourself in those areas. Okay, so I've addressed those people. If you're in that category, this still applies to you, but after you take care of all the other stuff, everyone else who's like me, who just hasn't been willing to do what others have done to be successful, what I need to do in order to get to that place, then I just say to you, work on your willingness. Track your weight, track your food. Those are going to tell you so much. And the other thing is, they make you more willing. They make me more willing to do what I need to do in order to get to where I want to go. And so, once I start looking at what I'm eating the day before, lack of exercise, lack of water, just too stressed, whatever, once I've looked at that, then the next day I'm like, oh, no, 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 not going down that path today, because it took me in the direction I didn't want to go. Either my weight is stuck or my weight is going up. So not doing that today. Tracking makes me very willing to do things differently. Okay. And if I find that I really have problems, say for instance, a very big challenge for me right now is I'm looking at my emotions, but I'll give something a little bit more practical is meal planning. That's like a really big issue for me. And the reason I brought up emotions is because my emotions, I'm one of these type of people whose emotions really and truly influence my mind and my ability to um, do to make those choices. So when I'm good, I'll do whatever I need to do. But emotionally, if I'm off, I'm not going to get anything done without like just totally dragging myself to do it. And so I I think to myself, I have to address what's going on emotionally. But by the same token, I need to really look at what is the best way for me to plan. So it's like when I see I'm in an area of challenge, I have to start asking myself, why? What, I mean, like, really, what's the big deal? Like with me and exercise, I'm trying to figure out. I want to become more of a YouTuber, and I'm best YouTubing during the morning. But I really want to go work out in the morning, and I'll find I don't get it done. And I might YouTube, but I may not work out before I go and teach, when I teach, that's not my workout. That's not my workout. It's like icing. And so these are the things that we have to ask ourselves. We have to really put forth effort and be mindful and conscious, and not just beat up on ourselves and just think, well, I really can't do this. You just have to find your way of doing it. Okay. So that's what I wanted to share with you all today. The people who are successful at losing weight and improving their health, and this is in general, if you have extra stuff going on, I'm not talking to you because I know people get so sensitive about this, but it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, everybody who is succeeding at something, they were willing to do what others were not willing to do. And so whatever that means for you and your health, just say that to yourself. And that just might encourage you to say, you know what? I'm going to look at what they're doing. I already know what I need to do. And I'm going to work on being willing, working my willingness to do things differently. This is Tyra Hargrove, your wellness inspiration coach, hoping that I've shared a positive word with you all today. I'm not trying to whip up on anybody, but I said, but that just canceled everything before it, didn't it? I'm not trying to whip up on anybody. I really just want to help everybody. I'll put it that way. And sometimes we have to have a throat check. Love y'all. Have a great day. And I wish you all the best on achieving your health and wellness goals. Peace.